day's walk. And they journeyed there, and they dwelt there. And they began to make bricks and burn fires to build the city and the tower that they had imagined to complete. And the building of the tower was unto them a transgression and a sin. And they began to build it. And whilst they were building against Yah, the Elohim of heaven, they imagined in their hearts to war against him and to ascend into heaven. And all these people and all their families divided themselves in three parts. The first said, we will ascend into heaven and fight against him. The second said, we will ascend to heaven and place our own deities there and serve them. And the third part said, we will ascend to heaven and smite him with bows and spears. And Yah knew all their works and all their evil thoughts. And he saw the city and the tower which they were building. And when they were building, they built themselves a great city and a very high and strong tower. And on account of its height, the mortar and the bricks did not reach the builders in their ascent to it, until those who went up had completed a full year day. And after that they reached to the builders and gave them the mortar and the bricks. Thus was it done daily. And behold, these ascended and others descended the whole day. And if a brick should fall from their hands and get broken, they would all weep over it. And if a man fell and died, none of them would look at him. Wow. And Yah knew their thoughts, and it came to pass when they were building, they cast the arrows toward the heavens, and all the arrows fell upon them filled with blood. When they saw them, they said to each other, surely we have slain all those that are in heaven. For this was from Yah in order to cause them to err, and in order to destroy them from off the face of the ground. They built the tower and the city, and they did this thing daily until many days and years were elapsed. And Yah said to the 70 angels who stood foremost before him, to those who were near him, saying, come, let us descend and confuse their tongues, that one man shall not understand the language of his neighbor. And they did so unto them. And from that day following, they forgot each man's his neighbor's tongue, and they could not understand to speak in one tongue. And when the builder took from the hands of his neighbor lime or stone which he did not order, the builder would cast it away and throw it upon his neighbor, that he would die. And they did so many days, and they killed many of them in this manner. And Yah smote the three divisions that were there, and he punished them according to their works and designs. Those who said, we will ascend to heaven and serve our deities, became like apes and elephants, black and white colored. And those who said, we will smite the heavens with arrows, Yah killed them, one man through the hand of his neighbor. And the third division of those who said, we will ascend to heaven and fight against him, Yah scattered them throughout the earth.
Okay, stop there for a second. We just read something, brothers and sisters. We read a whole lot, really. And so I had about three different thoughts. But one was, where was Egypt at doing all this? Were they in their own civilization? Or were they over here in Babylon building this tower? They wasn't over in Egypt building no towers. So if that be the case, then why is it that people believe that Yah's the moon god when they was worshiping the moon in Babylon before there was an Egyptian civilization? The other thought was, the people were so rebellious against the Most High that they were deceived. They shot arrows at the space. Kind of remind me of of and I know he get a lot of hits. Everybody didn't attack him, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Said that he blowed the wind of God on the COVID virus. That's foolishness, right? People can be so much believe what they believe that is foolish to them, right? And Shabbat Shalom More, Lamad Yahoo, long time, my brother. And people believe that they have power. It's just like my Isha shared with me this week, and this, I'm sure you all heard about it. This African, was it a healing evangelist? Was he apostle? Pastor? Believed that he could cure the coronavirus going around laying hands on people. And he ended up contracting COVID-19 according to the report, and he died. So these people here in Babylon were foolish, believing the lie rather than the truth. And I think that even in the brief Kadash talks about that, they would rather believe the lie than the truth, right? So people falling for the lie. And then the last thought I had was right here in this verse, where it talked about when they rebelled and they looked like apes.
Verse 35.
35. It said, y'all smoked the 3 divisions that were there. This actually answers the question, doesn't it? You know what I'm talking about?
I believe so.
What you think I'm talking about?
When they became like apes,
Yeah.
I'm assuming during caveman time.
Okay. No, that wasn't. She said caveman. No, that wasn't. I was thinking about. Okay, let's look at it again. All right, y'all smoked the 3 divisions. 3. Now, how many sons did Noah have? 3 sons, right? Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So those would be the 3 divisions, wouldn't you say? It said, y'all smoked the 3 divisions. And that were there. And he punished them according to their works and designs, those who said, we will ascend to heaven and serve other deities. They became like apes and elephants. It didn't say that they were, but they became like. Okay, so now your thought on that, yes. Okay, I was somewhere else. Your thought on the caveman, yeah, right, absolutely. Because the divisions, yeah, the divisions of the sons, he said, because of his judgment, he punished the divisions by making them like apes and elephants. Okay. How are apes? Apes are cave dwellers, like you said. Apes are people that can't speak. They're right? Uncivilized, barbaric, right? Elephants are more, how do you put it? Elephants are, when you look at an elephant, you would think elephant would be a carnivorous, a meat eater, right? But elephants don't eat meat, they eat vegetation. So, in other words, they would appear to be something that they're not.
Yeah, less human.
Huh?
Yeah, they took on a less human form.
Yeah, it would appear to be something that they're not. So they would be like apes, and they would appear to be something that they're not, like apes and like elephants. And those who said, we will smite heaven with arrows, Yah killed them, one man through the hand of his neighbor, and division. So as a result of the rebellion, the Most High caused the war. That's when the wars began. That was the beginning of the wars. Okay. And he says, the third division of those who said, we will ascend to heaven and fight against him, he scattered them throughout the earth. So you got one division that remained there where the Babel was. Another division that was scattered and became like apes. Another division that was scattered and went into, are you with me? Africa. That's where the elephant is synonymous of Africa. The ape is synonymous of Europe. Right? Does that seem about right?
The ape in Europe?
The ape in Europe. The cave dwellers.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
right.
This text, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, and he says, and the other he scattered. The other he scattered. So the scattering would be the Shemites who were scattered into Saudi Arabia, the Arabian area. That's where we get that mixture from, right? Okay. That's just a thought. Not written in stone, but I'm not holding that as a doctrine, but it's kind of interesting. It's an interesting analogy, right? All right, so let's continue. Wait a minute. Something else I read in there. It talked about them colors, black and white. What was that? What verse was that?
Referring to the apes and the, verse 35, referring to the apes and the elephants.
Did I miss it?
You probably did. It's right in verse 35. Right after it mentions apes and elephants in parentheses, it says black and white colored.
Oh, mine doesn't say that. My version doesn't say that. It says he will ascend into heaven and serve our Elohims, become like apes and elephants, and those who said we. Okay, so after apes and elephants, yours says black and white.
Yep, black and white colored.
Okay, all right. That's. I don't know if the version I have was changed, or now do you have the book of Jasher? Let's see. The book of Jasher is not in the pseudepigrapha. Okay, I gotta research that one there because mine doesn't say that. Okay, I got a copy from Yahweh's sword. All right. Okay, so somebody added something or somebody took something away. So we'll see. All right, go ahead, continue.
Verse 36, and those who were left amongst them, when they knew and understood the evil which was coming upon them, they forsook the building, and they also became scattered upon the face of the whole earth.
Okay.
And they ceased building the city and the tower. Therefore he called that place Babel, for there Yah confounded the language of the whole earth. Mm-hmm. Behold, it was at the east of the land of Shinar. Mm-hmm. And as the tower which the sons of men built, the earth opened its mouth and swallowed up 1/3 part thereof. And the fire also descended from heaven and burned another third, and the other third is left to this day. And it is of that part which was aloft, and its circumference is 3 days' walk. And many of the sons of men died in that tower, a people without number. And that's the ending of verse 9.
Okay, good. All right, so let's see where we at. That's a good place to stop. We've covered, it's 2 hours worth. And so that was a lot of good reading there. It was a lot more of reading more than me giving commentary. And the reading basically speaks for itself. So we see that Abraham was the father of nations, not just the father of the Israelites, but the father of the nations, which includes, he was called out from the nation to be a father of nations. To be what? Father means to be what? A leader. Right? We lead people. We give them a hope. We show them a better way. That's what a leader does. A leader doesn't condemn you. We show them a better way, right? After we learn, it says, I think somewhere in one of Paul's letters, he says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, right? But against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. No, I'm sorry. That's not what I'm trying to do. It says, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. That's the one I wanted. But they're mighty through Yah to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yah, and having a readiness to revenge all disobedience after our obedience is fulfilled. Huh? So that's what he's saying. Our duty is not to fight against. This is not a fight, white versus black. Right? It's a fight of the sons of Satan who are what? Manifested in disobedience. Those who disobey the Most High Yah are the sons of Satan. Irregardless of what you look like on the outside. Those who obey, and that's what it says in the book. I'm just quoting the book. That obey Yah, Paul Shaul said it, the other apostles said it. They are the sons. We read it in Romans 8 at the beginning. For the expectation of the creature is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of Yah. And Hebrews we read, we talked about if you don't obey him, he don't deal with you as sons, but he deals with you as bastards. Okay? That's what he's saying. So the Most High is looking for us to be priests, to fulfill, y'all ain't gonna talk to me, the promise to Abraham. Not because of us. Our forefather Yaakov was a trickster. All right? We had a lot of tricks in Israel. But because of Abraham, that's why we were chosen. That's the only reason why. He made the promise to Abraham's seed. We read that in the beginning. Once we get that on our belt, right? Yeah, we know the devil uses people. We know right now the people that's in charge is being used mightily by the devil. But their time is coming to a close, says Yah, right? So Abraham is the father. Let's read a little more, okay? Let's read this 10th chapter down, and then we'll close it up for the day. There's a lot of names in there. You want to read all of the names in there? This is some good reading here. But see, remember, if you don't remember anything I said today, remember Abraham, Abraham, Ab, which means father, Ra, which means elevated ones or priest of Yah, and Ham, which means the nations. All right? That's what his name means. You can Google it. You can look it up. You can Strong's Concordance it. You can analytical Hebraic or Hebrew it, Ibrim, or whatever you choose, you like. Ibri. We get real deep. Hebrews get real deep. But his name means the father of the priest or the elevated nations. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. When we understand that his name means the father of the elevated nations, the nations become elevated through him. That's why the nations have to do what he did, including Isaac, Yaakov, 12 tribes, and the nations. But the nations are looking for the manifestation of the sons of Elohim, which are what? Those who have embraced the covenant of Abraham. All right. Okay, so we're going to read book of Jasher chapter 10. This is the descendants of Noah. A lot of names in here. All right. Go ahead.
And Peleg, the son of Eber, died in those days, in the 48th year of the life of Abram, son of Terah. And all the days of Peleg were 239 years. And when Yah had scattered the sons of men on account of their sin at the tower, behold, they spread forth into many divisions. And all the sons of men were dispersed into the four corners of the earth. And all the families became each according to its language, in its land or its city. And the son of men built many cities according to their families, and in all the places where they went, and throughout the earth where Yah had scattered them. And some of them built cities in places from which they were afterward extirpated, and they called these cities after their own names, or the names of their children, or after their particular occurrences. And the sons of Japheth and the son of Noah went and built themselves cities in the places where they were scattered, and they called all their cities after their names. And the sons of Japheth were divided upon the face of the earth into many divisions and languages. And these are the sons of Japheth according to their families: Gomer, Magog, Madai, Yavan, Tubal, Meshech, Tyrus. These are the children of Japheth according to their generations.
Or the Europeans.
Oops, sorry.
So the sons of Japheth are the Europeans, not Esau. Okay? Esau was a Shemite, not a Japhite. Japhite. History, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, history, I'm gonna tell you, let me give it to you, let me give it to you cut and dry. I used to teach Esau was the white man. Until I did a historical research, and my historical research proved to me that Esau could not be the white man. Only close connection, because somebody asked me that in the previous lesson, who's Esau then? The only close connection was with one of the sons of Japheth, and that was the Romans. But all the children of Japheth, for example, Philip of Macedonia, the Greeks wasn't. They were cousins to the Romans. They weren't the Romans. They were cousins to the Romans, right? According to Jasher, which we read now, tells us that the sons of Chittim were the Romans, not the Greeks. And they all came from Yavan, but they were not, the Romans and the Greeks were not the same people. They were cousins. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 8. And the children of Gomer, according to their cities, were the Frankim, who dwell in the land of Franza, by the river Franza, by the river Sanaa. And the children of Raphath are the Bartonim, who dwell in the land of Bartonia by the river Leda, which empties its waters in the great sea Gihon, that is Oceanus. And the children of Tugamar are 10 families, and these are their names: Buzar, Parzunek, Balgar, Eli Canaan, Ragbid, Tarki, Bid, Zubah, Ongal, Tilmaz. All these spread and rested in the north and built themselves cities.
Where they rest at?
In the north.
In the north. So they were, we read earlier, the 3 divisions. Okay? Neanderthal. And so, I mean, I'm just saying, we deal with it from a genetic perspective as well. All right, go ahead.
And they called their cities after their own names. Those are they who abide by the rivers Hithlah and Italic unto this day. But the families of Angoli, Balgar, Parzunac, they dwell by the great river Dubni, and the names of their cities are also according to the names and the children of Yavan, and the Yavanim who dwell in the land of Macedonia, and the children of Madair are the Orlam that dwell in the land of Cursan, and the children of Tubal are those that dwell in the land of Tuscana by the river Pashaya, and the children of Meshech are the Shebashni, and the children of Tyrus are Rashash, Cushni, and Ongolis, all that went and built themselves cities. Those are the cities that are situated by the sea Jabus, by the river Kura, which empties itself in the river Tragon. And the children of Elisha are the Ammonim, and they also went and built themselves cities. Those are the cities situate between the mountains of Job and Shebothmo. And of them were the people of Lombardy who dwell opposite the mountains of Job and Shebothmo, and they conquered the land of Italia and remained there unto this day. And the children of Kittim are the Romim who dwell in the valley of Canopia.
See that?
By the river Tibri.
Kittim is the Romans. He said, what was the name you used? Romim?
Romim, or the Romim.
The Romans. All right, go ahead.
And the children of Dudanim are those who dwell in the sea of Gion in the land of Bordna. These are the families of the children of Japheth according to their cities and languages, when they were scattered after the tower, and they called their cities after their names and occurrences. And these are the names of all their cities according to their families, which they built in those days after the tower. And the children of Ham were Cush, Mitzrayim, Phut, and Canaan, according to their generation and cities. And all these went and built themselves cities as they found fit places for them. And they called their cities after the names of their fathers, Cush, Mitzrayim, Phut, and Canaan. And the children of Mitzrayim are the Ludim, Anamim, Lahabim, Naptukim, Pathrusim, Kalsukim, Kaphtorim, 7 families. And all these dwell by the river Sior, that is the brook of Egypt, and they built themselves cities and called them after their own names. And the children of Pathros and Kazlach intermarried together, and from them went forth the Pelishtim and the Azathim and the Gerarim and the Githim and the Ekronim, in all 5 families. These also built themselves cities, and they called their cities after the names of their fathers unto this day. And the children of Canaan also built themselves cities, and they called their cities after their names.
Look, go ahead.
11 cities, and others without number.
Canaan land is Israel land. Go ahead.
And 4 men from the family of Ham went to the land of the plain. These are the names of the 4 men: Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim.
See that? 4 the sons. It said 4 men from the family of Ham. Those were the Ethiopians. They went down to, where did he say they went down to? Sodom and Gomorrah, Admah, Zeboim. That's where Lot went. And that is just below the Jerusalem or Israel proper, proper, right? That's Ethiopia. The biblical Ethiopia, not the political Ethiopia. All right? Okay, go ahead.
And these men built themselves 4 cities in the land of the plain, and they called the names of their cities after their own names. And they and their children and all belonging to them dwelt in those cities, and they were fruitful and multiplied greatly and dwelt peaceably. And Seir, the son of Hur, son of Hivi, son of Canaan, went and found a valley opposite to Mount Paran, and he built a city there, and he and his 7 sons and his household dwelt there. And he called the city which he built Seir, according to his name, that is the land of Seir unto this day. These are the families of the children of Ham, according to their language and cities, when they were scattered to their countries after the tower. And some of the children of Shem, son of Noah, father of the children of Eber, also went and built themselves cities in the places wherein they were scattered, and they called their cities after their names. And the sons of Shem were Elam, Asher, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram, and they built themselves cities and called the names of all their cities after their names. And Asher, son of Shem, and his children and household went forth at that time, a very large body of them, and they went to a distant land that they found, and they met with a very extensive valley in the land that they went to, and they built themselves 4 cities.
So they went north. They went north from Kuwait to Assyria. All right, go ahead.
And they built themselves 4 cities, and they called them after their own names and occurrences. And all these are the names of the cities which the children of Asher built. Nineveh, Rezin, Calech, Rehoboth, and the children of Asher dwell there unto this day.
Okay.
And the children of Aram also went and built themselves a city, and they called the name of the city Uz, after their eldest brother. And they dwell therein, that is the land of Uz, to this day. And in the 2nd year after the tower, a man from the house of Asher, whose name is Bela, went from the land of Nineveh to sojourn with his household wherever he could find a place. And they came until opposite the cities of the plain against Sodom, and they dwelt there. And the man rose up and built there a small city, and called its name Bela, after his name, that is the land of Zor unto this day. And these are the families of the children of Shem, according to their language and cities, after they were scattered upon the earth after the tower. And every kingdom, city, and family of the families of the children of Noah built themselves many cities after this. And they established governments in all their cities in order to be regulated by their orders. So did all the families of the children of Noah forever.
So that's the division of the land. So now the book of Jasher. In a previous lesson, we did the book, the 10th chapter of Genesis. And then a week before that, I think we did the book of Jubilees. And something I want to point out, though, before we go a little further, is, see, the people that don't want to embrace other books is because it uproots their doctrine. So we don't throw out the books because we see something that's going to debunk our doctrine. Now, in the book of Jubilees, you had the book of Jubilees over there? That should be in the pseudepigrapha, that one that you got sitting on top.
Let's do this book of Jasher. It isn't mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah, Book of Jasher is mentioned in the Bible. That's correct. So, Book of Jubilees, I want to go to, let's see, the Book of Jubilees, because see, we got people that say, well, I just read the King James Bible. When it's convenient, you read the King James Bible. When it's not convenient, you go out and get something else. You get a historical book. You know who you are. These are elders that do that. They only read the books, the parts that they want to read, right? And then whatever they don't want to read, they don't want to give any credence to. I don't believe that. That's tampered with. When it disagrees with our belief, it's tampered with, right? But we have to learn how to decipher truth from error by comparing scripture to scripture, or comparing, in this case, book to book, right? So you got Jubilees. I want to read where Abraham saw the vision, where I might have an underline, where the Most High spoke to him. And let's see, where is that found at? That's when Terah went from Haran. And it says, Terah went from Haran, and Abraham experienced there his journey to Canaan. And here it says verse 15. So I don't know if that means anything to you or not. I can read from here, but I wanted to give. You found it?
How does it start?
It starts, it says, and Terah went forth from Ur of the Chaldees.
But you said you're looking for where Abram.
Well, that's what the verse starts off. It says, and Terah went forth from Ur of the Chaldees, he and his sons, to go into the land of Lebanon. That's the Book of Jubilees. That's verse 15, but I don't see what chapter. It might be.
Okay.
You see it?
Yeah.
What chapter is that?
I don't see chapters here.
Does it have a chapter?
Oh, 12.
Chapter 12. Okay. Chapter 12 and verse 15. Okay, there we go. We got it now. So this is the Book of Jubilees, chapter 12, verse 15. All right, we're going to read down to verse. No, let's not start. That's too far up. Let's start at verse 21. We can read down to 24. So Book of Jubilees, chapter 12, verse 21 down to 24. Okay, go ahead.
And he said, shall I return unto Ur of the Chaldees, who seek my face, so that I should return to them? Or shall I dwell here in this place? Make the straight path prosper before you in the hand of your servant, that he might serve. And do not let me walk in the error of my heart, O Yah. And he finished talking and praying, and behold, the word of Yah was sent to him by my hand, saying, come forth from your land and from your kin and from your father's house into the land which I shall show you. And I shall establish you as a great and numerous people. And I shall bless you, and I shall make your name great, and you shall be blessed in the land. And all the nations of the earth will bless themselves by you. And whoever blesses you, I shall bless. And whoever curses you, I shall curse. And I shall be Yah for you and your son, and for the son of your son, and for all your seed. Do not fear henceforth, for all the generations of the earth I am your Elohim.
All right, now, so a little something, way to learn something. Here he said, he will be Elohim to his son, and to his son's son, and to all his seed. See that? So it said his son and his son's sons, and to all his seed. All right, let's continue. That's verse 25 now.
And Yah said to me, open his mouth and his ears, so that he might hear and speak with his mouth in the language which is revealed, because it ceased from the mouth of all the sons of men from the day of the fall. And I opened his mouth and his ears and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Hebrew, in the tongue of creation. And he took his father's books, and they were written in Hebrew, and he copied them, and he began studying them thereafter. And I caused him to know everything which he was unable to understand. And he studied them in the 6 months of reign. And it came to pass in the 7th year of the 6th week that he spoke with his father, and let him know that he was going to Haran to walk in the land of Canaan, so that he might see it and return to him. And Terah his father said to him, go in peace. May Yah eternal make straight your path, and Yah be with you, and protect you from all evil, and grant favor upon you, and mercy and grace before those who see you. May none of the sons of men rule over you to do evil to you. Go in peace. And when you have seen a land pleasant to your eyes to dwell in, come and take me to you, and take Lot and the son of Haran, your brother, with you, as a son for yourself. And Yah be with you. But Nahor, your brother, leave with me until you return in peace, and we will all go together with you.
Look at that. So now we see, what did the Most High say? He spoke to Abraham. Not only did he speak to him in Hebrew, he gave him the books that was written in Hebrew. Y'all ain't gonna talk to me. Y'all don't like me now. See, we speak English. We don't know Hebrew. We speak English. The Most High said, I will return to the people a pure language. What's the pure language? Hebrew. This language that the Most High spoke to the prophet and king and priest, because he was the priest, and he was anointed by the priest Malak Sadak, who was already in the land. He was one of the seeds, the remnant of the seed of Ham. He wasn't an Israelite, but he embraced that covenant, right? Abraham was around his father and them. They were pagan idol worshipers, but the Most High had reserved a remnant after the flood. Noah, we read it, taught the sons, didn't he? Ham, Shem, and Japheth. He taught all three of them the laws. Ham, one son, and a trinket in the city of Shalom, called the king of Salem, was Malak Sadak. And we can read that in the book of Jasher. But we're not going to do it today because we're going to run out of time. But Ham was taught from Noah. Ham taught his sons. He had one son left that kept it. That was Malak Sadak. The world calls him Melchizedek. He was not an angel. He was not a pre-incarnation of Yeshua. He was a son of Noah through Ham, through Canaan. Canaan, the one that was cursed. He was the son of Canaan. How you like me now? All right, so let me read it again, and we'll close out with this. Next Shabbat, maybe we'll do part 3, because we want to show you the wickedness of Torah. All right, we've gone 2.5 hours. All right, if my Isha feels like reading that next chapter, we'll do it. If not, then we'll continue. All right. So verse 24, in the book of Jubilees, chapter 12, verse 24, it reads again. He says, I shall be an Elohim to thee and to thy son. Who's he talking to? Abraham. And to thy son's son. So who does that make reference to? Jacob. And to all thy seeds. So in other words, all the other seeds, because Abraham had other seeds. Sarai, when she died, he got married. We find that in Genesis, I think, I don't want to give you the wrong chapter. He married Keturah and had a bunch of children by her. And then he had, I think he had concubines and had children by them. So Abraham had a whole lot of childrens. Had a whole lot of childrens. Child. All right, I digress. So he said, from henceforth and unto all generations of the earth. So he didn't leave nobody out. He didn't leave nobody out, brothers and sisters. Only people leaving people out is hateful, stiff-necked Hebrews. That got people calling us a cult because of that damnable doctrine of devils that the white man's the devil is Esau. You can't be stupid all your life. And these are educated people that teach that. Kind of like educated people that are in a Christian church that teach people dying and going to heaven. Educated people got doctors of divinity. But they got people going to heaven. And you ask them, where's that at in the Bible? They give you one verse. Be absent from the body means be present with the Lord. So that means you go to heaven when you die? Esau, the whole pillar of Esau being the white man, it rests on that one passage that says Esau came out red. White man is not white. He's a different shade of red. It's a stupid doctrine. But here we see here, Abraham, it says, he shall be an Elohim to his son's sons, and to all his seed, and fear not from henceforth and unto all generations of the earth. I am thy Elohim. Those are the people that Abraham, the father of nations, to. Right? So it said, Yah, verse 25. This is Jubilees, chapter 12, 25. And Yah Elohim said, open his mouth and his ears that he may hear and speak with his mouth. Who was he asking to open his ears and open his mouth? Who was he asking to do that? I can probably tell you, I can't prove it, but I could probably tell you that it was Malak Sadat. I can't prove it. But I strongly feel that's who that was. The Ruach uses people. When you say the messenger or the angel of Yah, that's not a two-winged thing flying around spooking people. That's a person who has heard and has guarded and protected the word of Yah and has embraced it and has allowed himself to be an oracle to say what thus saith Yah. Somebody said, brother, I don't see that. If we go to Jasher, I can show you that Jasher says that Malak Sadak was a king, a literal king. Yeah, brother, you adding to the scriptures. You adding. Well, I mean, it says here, Yah said, let's read it again. He says, I am Yah. And Yah said, open his mouth and his ears that he may hear and speak with his mouth, with the language which hath been revealed. So Abraham had an experience just like the Israelites had in the upper room. Right? The Spirit of Yah moved upon them. And they spoke in other people's languages. Right? He said, open his mouth and his ears that he may hear and speak with his mouth, with the language which hath been revealed. For it had ceased from the mouths of all the children of men from the day of the overthrow of Babel. Now, notice what it says. It has ceased from the children of men. Notice what it didn't say. It's called a flip-flop method. It didn't say the children of Elohim or sons of Elohim. It said from the children of men. They were the ones that was building. There was some people there, I believe, that was following along with the righteousness. And how do we know that? You can go to the book of Enoch. Right? So there was a remnant. The Most High has always reserved the remnant. Everybody wasn't worshiping the sun, moon, and the stars. Just like even in your experience, you look at how you came up in the church or in the Muslim mosque, and everybody else was gung-ho Christians or gung-ho Muslims, and you was there and you was a part of them, but it was something in you that was like, there was some things that just wasn't clicking, right? You was among them, but you was not of them. It's kind of like Abraham when he was around his fathers, and they was like, you worshiping the sun? So, okay, maybe I'll do it. This is what we do. This is what we do, right? So he grew up like that, but it was something in him that knew that what he was doing was wrong, right? So he says here, it has ceased from the mouths of the children of men from the day of the overthrow of Babel. And I opened his mouth and his ears and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Hebrew, in the tongue of creation. So somebody was speaking to him in the tongue of Hebrew. Why